Welcome back here to downtown Kansas City as the Tigers win it over Columbia College, 75-66. Joined now by the head coach of the Tigers, Brent Vernon. And, Coach, you get the monkey off your back. You got that first tournament win. I know you had the jitters coming in. You and Mark both. You all were tore up thinking you may not get into the tournament. Able to get into the tournament. You pick up a win and knock out the 6th-ranked team in the country.
Yeah, our guys did a great job tonight. I'm going to say we really paid attention to scouting report, and we guarded our butts off. We held them to 35% shooting, 29 from three. They shot 41% as a team from three, and we were really worried about that. And we thought chasing them off the line was going to be a big factor for us, and I think that proved to be the deciding factor today.
You held Jake Dubinsky to just 3 points here in this ball game. The American Midwest Player of the Year, 3 points. Nathan Biggs did have he's finished in double figures with 13. He leads them with 15.5 points a ball game. But Dubinsky, he can flat out shoot at the lefty. He held him to 3 points in this ball game, and that's huge.
Yeah, it was. And Jalen did a great job. He had the matchup from most of the night, and then before that, we had Duke Robinson that had to come in and guard him some. And again, it just goes down to guys willing to do what we're asking them to do, and they don't want their season to end. And they did a great job. I'm going to say, the big guy, Biggs, that's who they go through, and he had 13, but 5 of 15 shooting. We just did a really good job of making them be very inefficient for the day.
The difference maker, they went up by 9. A 9-0 run, you call a quick timeout. It wasn't looking good to start. Obviously, everybody has some jitters to start. Sean Johnson banged 3 threes for you in that first half, and that was huge.
It was, and I thought our guys did a great job. That's a veteran team. They've been here 6 of the last 7 years. We've had 2 guys who've been in Kansas City. Now they have been to a Final Four, but we have guys who've never played in a national tournament before other than those 2, and I knew we'd have some jitters. We went into the half up 31-30, and we missed some bunnies that I knew that the rust would come off, the jitters would wear away, and we would finish, and we did that the second half. You saw Jalen finish some at the rim, and then everybody just stepped up, and we made some really big shots.
If I would have told you would have led 31-30 at halftime and Andrew Smith had 0 points, what would you say?
Probably that you're crazy. I'm going to say our game plan coming in was to throw it to Drew, and we did. They did a really good job of being physical with him. They really dug down and double-teamed him some, but our guys stepped up, and then second half is the same thing. I told our guys at halftime, he may have 0 points. We're throwing it to the big fella. That's really what we're going to do, and I think he's still one of the big factors in determining how far we can go in this thing. But you look, all 5 guys were in double figures, and that just shows if you start concentrating on one, we have a lot of options.
Andrew Smith, 12 second-half points for the Tigers. They were led in scoring by Jalen Coates. Jalen struggled to start the game as well. He wasn't getting that finish at the rim. He can get to the rim with ease. He's one of the best in the country getting at the rim. But he had one of the wild shots that actually went in for him instead of one of the bunnies that he had. But Jalen led the team 15 points. The senior, he wants this one really bad.
I'm proud of him. It's something whenever he came to Campbellsville, he said, Coach, I want to be in the national tournament. It's something I've never experienced. And he's been really ready for this moment, and he accepted the challenge. And, a lot of the second half, whenever he got to a possession game, we put the ball in his hands and let him try to decide who was going to get shots, and he did a great job with that.
The Tigers were led in scoring by Coates with 15. Hagan Tyler had 14 double-doubles from Sean Johnson and Andrew Smith, Coach, and that was really big for you. The big guys were able to they hit the boards as well as you out-rebounded them 40-35.
Yeah, and you go back to senior with Sean. He had not had a double-double until senior night against Lindsey Wilson, and he's really come into his own. There's not a stage too big for him. He maximizes his potential and does a really good job, and, proud of him. He made some shots early that really settled everybody down.
And now you move into Friday's game. 5 p.m. tip-off, 4 p.m. here Central Time in Kansas City. Montana Western defeated Sagu, Southwestern's Assemblies of God, earlier today, 105-96. Coach, I know you haven't looked at them at all maybe, but moving forward, you got the monkey off your back. You're able to just settle down now, and after really the first 5 or 6 minutes of that ball game, you settled down. You really controlled the rest of that ball game. But moving into tomorrow's game against Montana Western, what is it that you're going to expect from the guys there?
Well, we watched them earlier today, me and Coach Mark, and we had no idea. We watched no film on them beforehand. There's one game at a time. We came to watch today because in our eyes we thought we had a good chance to win, but you take it one game at a time. They're a very talented team. They can really score. They have a good point guard who's averaging about 17 points, a big physical 4-man who's very skilled, and then they have a couple guys who can really make shots. They're very similar to us in a way of they don't play tons of guys, but everybody knows their role and does what's asked. We have to go in, from here we go straight to get something to eat and straight into game plan mode to make sure we understand our assignments like we did with Columbia. You got a little less than 24 hours to prepare, but we'll be ready to go tomorrow.
Coach, appreciate it, buddy. I know it's always a good one to get the first one.
Yes, sir.
And,
Thanks,
you and
Jordan.
Benji Kelly the alum over here, he was excited all night.
Well, we all were. I'm going to say it's a great day for Campbellsville basketball.
Once again, thanks, Brent. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks.
That was head coach of the Tigers, Brent Vernon. The Tigers win it over Columbia College. They knock off the 6th-ranked team in the country, the second seeded out of the Dewar bracket, 75-66.